Hey guys, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is Friday, October 30th. I'm still pretty weak and tired. I've been kind of in a pain flare-up, a mast cell flare-up, and like all these diseases flaring up at the same time, basically. So I had an EMG last Thursday, which is a nerve study test for anybody who doesn't know. So the doctor was basically seeing if my nerves and muscles work properly. So he was like doing a lot of different shocking things with like a probe, I guess you would call it. I don't really know. I wasn't given like technical terms. He wasn't very good about explaining everything that he was doing, but he was very good. Like if I asked him what he was doing, he would say. And he was good at trying to distract me, which is always a good thing because for me these tests can be very painful. A lot of like little things that like you wouldn't necessarily think about will like flare, like my mast cells or my pain. So yeah, he was doing a good job, like I said, in distracting me. When he was doing the shocking and stuff though, like with my pinkies, that was extremely painful. I had to ask him to please stop. And then he had taken out a needle, and I was like, well, what are you going to do with that? And, well, no, I asked what it was, and he's like, it's a needle. I was like, well, no, duh, it's a needle. I was like, where are you putting it? And he was like, oh, you're not afraid of, like, no, I'm not afraid of needles, but I like a heads up before, jabbing me. This way I don't jump. So he had to actually put that into my muscles, and that's when I could tell, like, I was like, something doesn't seem quite right, because he had this needle in me, and then he kept putting pressure on the needle and then started putting pressure in different parts of my shoulder and then having me like move it in different ways, and I could just tell something wasn't quite right. So he finished up the test and he was like, we're not done with the test. I actually go back next week for the rest of my EMG because it was just too much to do in one day. It was too much to do even like back to back. So we spaced it out by 2 weeks, which I'm super thankful for because guys, this has been really doing me in. This is why I haven't vlogged much. Between that and all the mast cell stuff, I've been really out of it and it's really hard to be that out of it. I'm not used to it. So he was like, he doesn't have like a full answer, but he has a direction, which makes me feel really good. He says that my muscles are severely diseased, which I kind of figured it could be muscular. We were starting to think, like I said, maybe it's not truly neurological, so I don't know if it's neuromuscular or just muscular at this point. So there are words in my chart like mitosis and myopathy, so different like muscular diseases. He's looking at it from the perspective, which is very typical. I get this a lot because people don't realize what adrenal insufficient means. He's like, oh, maybe it's just your steroids are too high, you come down, we're all good, problem goes away. I like that theory, y'all. I love it. It's a simple, easy fix. Except for the fact that this all started when I was really low on steroids. So I don't have much hope that that's what it is. To be honest with you, I do believe it is disease progression. And I believe that after him talking to my rheumatologist, my endocrinologist, maybe some of my other doctors, I think he's going to draw that conclusion on his own. I don't think it's going to be a huge fight, which I'm so thankful about. He did stop my rheumatologist in the hallway. He's like, could we talk? And she's like, about Victoria? Yeah, she's really complicated. We need to like set up a meeting. It's not like, something that you kind of discuss in between patients. Like, I'm pretty complicated. So she was like, we'll set up a meeting. So, but I was really happy when I heard that. And I was like really obnoxious saying hi to her. I was like, hi, I haven't seen you in like a year. It's been crazy because, anytime I see her, it's on telehealth. So it's like, it was crazy to see her in person. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I've been processing, guys. It's been really hard. Since having the EMG and Xolair, I've been bad. Some days it's hard for me to lift my arms. since having the EMG, I did not realize, guys, how much shoulder pain I actually have. I kind of feel like now that like my body's my mind's registered the shoulder pain, now I feel like it's like worse, you know what I mean? Like, because like now you're paying attention to it. Before I was just blocking out apparently all the shoulder pain, and like because like the more I'm thinking about it, it's like that was probably there for a while. But I'm able to like sometimes block out like certain pains, but then sometimes I feel like once you acknowledge that it's there and like you realize how severe it is, maybe that's just me, but if you realize sometimes how severe it is and then like you have a hard time ignoring it because then it's like obnoxious, it seems like the pain. But I've been, like I said, super weak. It's gotten to the point that some days I can get dressed on my own, other days I need help, or it's really painful. It's something that will honestly leave me in tears. So I've been really, really weak. Abby is enjoying, though, helping out more. Because, you know, sometimes I would do stuff out of instinct and not ask her for help, or, you know, just try to do more than I should. So I've been, you know, leaning on her more like I should be. And she loves that. She loves being busy. So she's been helping with getting undressed, and she helps pick up and clean up her stuff, which is so fun, and help get different things for me. So, and of course all her alerts and stuff. So she's been a busy, busy puppy and a tired one sometimes. So she's not loving. We had a lot of rain this week, and like by yesterday she's like, I'm done with this rain. So she's like all mopey about it, which is very typical for her. So yeah, I don't have a lot more information on this muscle disease yet. He said we'll talk more once obviously he has more of a direction. My home health care nurse though was like, have they talked about IVIG? And I was like, not yet. And she's like, well, that's always an option, because the thing, my fear, because I know statistically like this group of diseases that he's looking into, most of them are rare. And, you know, with me, I usually don't fit in the box. I'm usually kind of rare. So with all that being said, my biggest fear is definitely getting a name and knowing it's progressive and quickly at that, and then not having any treatment. That would be like, that's, I guess, like my biggest fear at this point, which I know in perspective it's really not that bad, and it would just be something that I would have to work through emotionally, I believe. But she was like, even if there's not a good treatment plan for it, IVIG and maybe other routes of medicines and different symptom management, it may not be ideal, but there should be something that we can do, which is always reassuring. Because when you're like getting, because you guys know like there's the weakness and then like the twisting of my muscles, and then I lock and get stuck in weird positions. So like when you think of stuff like that, like you don't want that to progress like super quick, because those are like scary things to like be stuck in a position. Like it's very nerve-wracking, and all you can do is just stay calm and wait it out, and it's really hard in the moment to just do nothing because there's nothing to do. So yeah, that's where we're kind of at with the neurology stuff, and I'm not really looking forward to having to get my legs done at this point. I've been in a lot of pain with my legs for about 2 weeks now. I kind of woke up one day with really bad pain, and it hasn't gone away in my legs, so I don't know if it's like kind of all the weather shifting. It did snow here, so I have some clips that I will put in of that. It wasn't like legitimate like snowstorm, it was like a little wintry mix, but definitely things like that can affect pain levels and illnesses in general. So I don't really know if the EMG totally flared stuff. My nurse still thinks some of this is a repercussion from surgery or like weather, or I really think it's just a combination. Alright guys, so I made this already longer than I anticipated, so I'm just going to go. I will update you as I learn more.